Welcome, investigators, to the Arkham Horror the card game, The Dunwich Legacy playthrough. Today, we're going to ride the Essex County Express. But, before we begin, in the last mission, the Miskatonic Museum, I had an issue with reading comprehension, which could have changed the scenario in a big way. You could argue that it couldn't, but nevertheless, I should be more careful in reading the cards properly. So I was going to give myself a mental trauma. However, I issued myself a challenge in the Elder Sign gameplay video posted before this, where I could negate that mental trauma. The results of that game aside, I've instead decided to do this. It is a problem that I misread the card, and that could have changed the game. I don't believe that it would have, and I would have gotten the same result, just maybe a turn or two later. And this game is meant to be played just for the fun of it, but there must be some form of punishment. So, for this game, and for this game only, I will take a mental trauma. Not a permanent one for the campaign, but for this game. And after that, whatever I get is what I get. So, let's continue with the Essex County Express. And as for the upgrades which I purchased, I got Adaptable, which allowed me to switch out 2 more level 0 cards from my deck. So they're essentially free level 0 cards. There were some cards in my deck which just weren't getting enough play, and so I swapped them out, like Seeking Answers was swapped out for Deduction. The other thing I bought was Sure Gamble, which is a great rogue card. But anyway, let's continue to the Essex County Express. Recent events in the museum have forced you to reevaluate Armitage's tale about Dunwich. It cannot be a coincidence. Wilbur Whatley, the Necronomicon, the creature from Dunwich, and the people and creatures who were attacked here in Arkham. Everything must be connected. You are certain now where you must head, the lonely and dismal town of Dunwich Village. You consider telling the Massachusetts State Police what you know, but the negative consequences outweigh the potential gain. Given the nature of your story, they would likely write your stories off as an absurd hoax. Worse, they could lock you up. After all, you were present in an illegal speakeasy, and you also trespass in the museum. Instead, you decide to head to Dunwich yourself in order to investigate further. You pack everything you think you might need and manage to get some rest for the night. In the morning, you head to the train station in Northside and purchase a last-minute express ticket. Dunwich is several hours by train northwest along the Miskatonic River Valley. There is no train station in Dunwich, but you manage to phone one of Armitage's acquaintances in the small village, a man by the name of Zebulon Whatley, who was present during the events several months ago. Armitage's notes indicate that the Whatley family is spread across many branches, some decadent and unscrupulous, while others undecayed, or otherwise untouched by nefarious and diabolic rites. According to Armitage, Zebulon's branch of the family lay somewhere between the decayed and undecayed Whatleys, who knew of the traditions of his ancestors, but was not corrupted by them. He agrees to pick you up at the closest station and drive you into town. As the train departs from Arkham, you feel the events of the previous night catching up to you, and exhaustion sets in. But before you can safely reach your destination, the train car suddenly rumbles and shakes, startling you out of your reverie. The train loudly skids to a violent halt, and you hear a rattling noise behind you. A tear in reality. As the train to Dunwich comes to a jarring stop, you look out the window behind you and see an immense tear in the sky, like a rip in a piece of cloth. Several of the rearmost train cars are pulled backwards, and there is a dreadful metallic crunch as they are detached. The train cars topple upward and into the rift in the sky. Nearby passengers are panicking, others are cowering in their seats, and one elderly man has fainted in fear. Run. The train has stopped on a bridge high above the Miskatonic River. You might be able to survive the fall, but you don't like your chances. Your best bet is to make your way to the engine car as fast as you can and get the train running again. Objective: if an investigator enters the engine car, immediately advance. And we are on the standard difficulty. Skulls is -X, where X is the agenda number. Cultist symbol is -1 if you fail. And it is your turn. Lose all remaining actions and end your turn immediately. Jeez. I don't have the stone tablet, I don't think, nor do I have the Eldritch Heart. so I shouldn't worry about those. But I should note that before this campaign even started, in the setup, I was instructed to add another -3 into this bag, just outright. Depending on the difficulty you've set prior, mine being standard normal, I got to put a -3. Other difficulties would add a higher modifier or lower. So already, I've made such a hard attempt to not add more tokens into this bag, and the game just does it for me. But here I am in a train car. We start at the leftmost train. There are 6 train cars before the engine. The train car is connected to the location to the left and right of it. You cannot enter the train car unless all the clues on the location to the left have been discovered. So, the passenger car we are in starts with 1. It's connected to the location left and right of it. Forced after you enter the passenger car, that text is ignored for the purposes of this starting train car. So here we are. Got my 5 resources, got my 5 cards, and all my traumas, and I think we are set. Well, we can start ourselves off with some hard knocks. Paying 2 resources to play hard knocks. It's a great talent to have in case I need to get into a fight. Or run. Second action will be to investigate. Might as well use perception, putting me at 5 versus 1. -3. It's a good thing I did that. I was going to say that's a bit of overkill, but it worked out. And that lets me draw a card. For my third action, we move. And we find a sleeping car. Sleeping car is connected to the location to its left and right. Gain 3 resources as an action. Remember that you have stolen a passenger's luggage. Group limit once per game. That sounds suspicious. This place starts with 1 clue, and that ends my turn. So, I'll draw a card. Leo DeLuca, how nice to see you. And gain 2 resources. Top of the round goes to the Mythos, 1 of 4, and Encounter. Test Will 3. If you fail, take 2 damage, and you cannot move from this location this round. Damage from this effect must be assigned to your assets first, if able. Claws of Steam. So the sides of the car are just exploding. Well, I have nothing to augment that, so it's going to be 3 versus 3. And -1 if I fail and it is my turn, etc., etc. But it is not my turn, it is the encounter step. So I fail, I take 2 damage, and I can't leave. That's actually pretty bad right off the start, 2 damage. So now I'm at 4 of 8. Okay. Well, I'll spend all 5 of my resources to get a helper, Leo DeLuca. Then I might as well draw a card, because I don't think I'm going to succeed in investigating here. That's 2, that's 3, 1 to play, 2 to draw. So 3, draw once more. I'm just not getting anything good here. And draw once more. There we go. That ends my turn. Meaning I draw again. And gain 2 resources. And I have 8 cards in my hand, so I don't need to discard down. So, top of the Mythos, 1, and draw. Place 1 Doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance. Alright. 3 of 4. The clock is ticking. So I shall investigate. using perception puts me at 5 versus 4. I don't think I can risk this. So I'm going to put 6 versus 4. -1, and if I fail, I don't have to worry about it. So that is 1 for me. Okay, and the success allows me to draw a card, and fantastic. This gets attached to the location farthest from me, which is, I guess, is okay. I'm not too broken up about it. So I'm going to move, perhaps. We have a parlor car. The parlor car is connected to the location, blah blah blah. Spend 3 resources, discover 1 clue in the parlor car. Hey, that's actually not too bad. So you know what, I might do that. So that was 2 actions, 1 to investigate, 1 to move, 1 to gain resources, and then 4, thanks to Leo DeLuca giving me an extra action, to take this clue. Yeah, and it's even worth the victory point. Fantastic. So that ends my turn. Drawing a card, a Derringer, and gaining 2 more resources. So that means the agenda will advance. The rearmost car of the train detaches as it is pulled backwards. To your horror, it rises off the tracks and is consumed by the gate above you. Remove the leftmost location from the game, or place it in the victory display if it has a victory X and no clues on it. Each investigator at the location is defeated. Each enemy and asset at the location is discarded. Discard all clues controlled by the investigators. So I lose my clues, which is okay. I wasn't going to use them for anything. This gets discarded. And I guess we keep moving. The mall widens. The tear grows larger, and you can feel the rearmost car of the train shaking as it's pulled backwards. The situation threatens to erupt into chaos as more passengers realize the danger they are in. Some passengers are looking for places to hide, while others are running about the compartments in terror. Okay. Then I draw. Ooh, what is this? Spawn. A location to your right, or a location if there is no location to your right. Emergent monstrosity enters play exhausted. The creature erupts from underneath one of the seats, growing ceaselessly in mass and volume, threatening to envelop the entire compartment. Interesting. Well, I could move onto that location, no problem. But can I kill it? That is the problem. I think I might, but I have to get there first. So, sure. Move. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Train car. After you enter the passenger car, you must either discard cards from your hand with at least a total of 2 will icons, or take 2 horror. I can do that. I do have guts, but do I want to use? Yeah, sure, why not? Sure, I guess. It's fine. And this place has 2 clues on it. Now, can I kill this thing ASAP? I might be able to. So 1 to move, 2 to gain a resource, 3 to backstab, which is a fight that uses agility instead of might. But this attack will deal +2 damage, meaning it will deal 3, unless I can modify it further. But I'll use manual dexterity, putting me at 5 versus 4. And I might be so crazy as to even use my Derringers to put it at 5, 6, 7 versus 4. This is an important one. -1 if I fail, don't worry about it. So that's 6 versus 4, which deals 3 damage. Just like that. And that was 3 actions, and Leo you give me, or rather Leo, you give me a fourth action, which I will use. But first, manual dexterity lets me draw a card. That's fine. So we will attack, this time using proper might. And I will add Overpower, putting me at 5, and Vicious Blow, putting me at 6. Still versus 4. And we just have to hope it works. Skull. Minus X. X is the current agenda number. Agenda is 2, 6, right? Yeah. 4, 4. We pass. Which deals 1. And Vicious Blow. If this attack is successful during, or this skill check is successful during attack, 5. Extra damage. Overpower. Lets me draw a card. Emergency Cash. Why do I still have this in my deck? But this guy is gone. And, cool thing about that, he's a victory point, so we get to put him up there. Whew. None too shabby, but that's my entire turn. So, drawing a card, manual dexterity, getting 2 resources. Top of the Mythos goes 1, 2, test, will 3. See, now I wish I didn't throw away my will card. Well, we'll see if it was worth it. 3 versus 3. 0. It was worth it. Don't have to worry about that. Alright, so I'm going to play Emergency Cash, gain 3 resources, and use all of those to play my Derringer. Gotta have something in case something bad happens again. But now I don't really have anything to augment my investigation. But I'll attempt 1 investigation using Think on My Feet. So that's my 3rd action, 4 versus 2. An Elder Sign, which gives me +2. So that is successful. But now it's 3 versus 2. Right? Play, investigate. My 4th action. 3 versus 2. Actually, should I do that? Should I draw a card? I'll draw a card. Yeah, I'll draw a card. Alright, that's fine. End my turn. Upkeep, drawing another card, gaining 2 resources. Top of the Mythos, draw an encounter. Put Frozen in Fear into play into your threat area. The first time you perform one of the following actions: move, fight, or evade. Each round it costs 1 additional action. At the end of my turn, test Will 3. If I succeed, discard Frozen in Fear. Great. That's not a good thing to have, but I was going to get that regardless, so I guess we're going to investigate. I'll discard Opportunist and Think on My Feet to put me at 5 versus 2. -2, 3 versus 2, still successful. That's 1 action, 2 3 actions to move, thanks to Frozen in Fear. Passenger car. After you enter the passenger car, you must either discard cards from your hand with at least a total of 2 investigation icons, or take 2 horror. Well, guess what? I don't have that many cards in my hand left, so taking the 2 horror. And there are 2 clues here. So, for my last action, draw a card. Flashlight. That's a great thing to have. End my turn. Evidence. Also a great thing to have. And now I have to test this. 3 versus 3. That's -2. Nope, I fail, and so this remains in play. Luckily, it doesn't make my investigation take too much, but moving becomes a hassle. But Leo DeLuca kind of evens that out, so maybe it's not too big of a deal. gain my resources. In case I didn't, I'm not sure if I did, so I'm going to keep them off to the side. But top of the mythos, this advances. The next train car is ripped backwards with violent force. A middle-aged man hangs from his fingertips as the car flies unhindered toward the rift. In moments, the car is consumed whole, and the man lets go rather than be pulled into the void. He starts to fall, but is caught by the rift's force and pulled inside anyway. Remove the leftmost location from the game. Okay. Or place it into the victory display, blah blah blah. Each investigator at the location is defeated, each enemy and asset at the location is discarded. Discard all clues controlled by investigators. Okay. I don't know what that last part really does, but whatever. And then encounter. Acolyte. Any empty location. After the Acolyte enters play, place 1 doom onto it. I guess I'll throw you into the leftmost. But you're making time go faster for me, and that's not entirely great. But we kind of just have to deal with that. I'm going to play my flashlight. So now my hands are full. Then I'm going to investigate, putting me at 3 versus 1. -1, 2 versus 1, successful. So let's try that one more time. -1 again. Successful. Now, do I want to move? I don't think I really do at this point. Because if I do, it's probably going to be another one of these effects that are like discard cards. And I've already seen investigation, willpower, wild icons. So what's left would be agility or might. I do have the agility one, but I want to be safe. And it's better to have cards in my hand than not. So, draw 2 more cards. Pantalone and Kirky. Sure. End my turn. Draw a card. Sneak attack. Fantastic. So now I have the 2 icons for either might or agility. 2 resources. Top of the mythos and encounter. Actually, I forgot to do this. Frozen in fear, are you going to punish me? Yes, you still are. Then encounter. Helpless passenger, surge. Put helpless passenger into play at your location to your left, or at your location if you cannot. Parlay. Take control of the helpless passenger. As an action, if helpless passenger leaves play, each investigator takes 1 horror. I kind of might be okay with that. Surge. Place 2 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. If there are no cultist enemies in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a cultist enemy and draw it. So that means next round that advances, which means that's going to disappear. You know, I might just keep moving. Actually, wait a minute. Wouldn't this have gotten another one at the very least? But that still doesn't change my situation, because it would have been 3, that would have been added there. Still does not progress the agenda. So I might just keep going. Yeah, sorry dude. I have plenty of sanity to spare, so there we go. This costs 2 action. After you enter the passenger car, you must discard 2 agility icons, thank you, or take 2 damage. Ooh, it's not always 2 horror. Could be damage. But that is fine. And this place gets 3 clues. But then it's my turn. So I might as well discover a clue here. 0 versus 3, so only an instant failure could ruin me here. And Elder Sign gives me plenty, and I take that, and I might as well investigate one more time. 3 versus 1 though. -3, which actually makes me fail. Whoops. That ends my turn. Enemies would do their thing. Nobody's a hunter. Draw a card. Gain 2 resources. Great. Mythos advances. All the doom is discarded. And what do we got? Two of the train cars closest to the gate are severed from the rest of the train by a sheet of impossibly hot steam, which slices through metal like a knife through butter. The cars are sucked upwards and fly into the gate. Something above the train lets out a terrible screech. Though to your ears, it is like the shrill sounds of a broken steam pipe. Remove each of the 2 leftmost locations from the game, or place it in the victory display if etc. etc. Ooh. This is getting faster. Each investigator defeated, blah blah blah, enemy and asset at those locations discarded, discard all clues held by investigators. And because I discarded the helpless dude, thank goodness I didn't go back, I take a horror. Sorry guys, can't help everyone. Although you know what, I'm surprised that the helpless passengers didn't say anything about stealing their luggage. But I didn't do that, so it doesn't matter. Drawn in, the gate crackles with power as its strength increases. Dirt and rocks from the edge of the bridge behind you are torn from the ground and trees are uprooted, pulled in by the gate. One younger passenger smashes the window of your car and shouts, "We gotta get out of here!" He leaps out of the window, but before he lands in the river below, he is snatched in the talons of a swift flying creature and carried out of sight. A trail of steam is left in the creature's wake. Well then, I suppose we are going to continue investigating. 3 versus 1. Whoop, I just threw that. But don't worry, it was -4, so I super do not succeed. Let's try that one more time. 0. 1 success, which means now I definitely cannot move out of this car this turn. Investigate one more time. 3 versus 1. Yep. -3, super fail. So that's what? 3 investigations. So my 4th one will be to try one more time. And still failure, because that's -4. So I'm stuck here. That ends my turn. I draw a card. Hello. Maybe. And 2 resources. Top of the mythos. 1. And draw. Helpless passenger goes over here. And he gains surge. Test will 3 if you fail, which reminds me I did not test will 3 for Frozen in Fear, which I might as well use Unexpected Courage for, putting me at 5 versus 3. And you know what? No. I also put Pantalone in there, putting me at 6 versus 3. That needs to go away now. -2. 4 versus 3. Frozen in Fear is gone, thankfully. But then I have this. Which is -1. I fail. But because it was not my turn, I don't suffer that consequence. However, I still cannot move from this location this round. Damage from the effect must be assigned Oh, take 2 damage. Must be assigned to your assets first if able. Leo! Leo is dead. Oh, I'm sorry, Leo. Well, okay. So, it's my turn, and I can't even leave if I want to. This could be problematic. Unless, hold on. A non-weakness treachery card. Actually, what I can do... Well, it's already too late. Next time, though, I can use this ward to negate a card like this. But that's okay. We can do that next time, for the inevitable next card that will bone me over. So, investigate. 3 versus 1. I can't do anything else here. -1. Fantastic. Now I'm kind of stuck here, though. So... yeah, I can't even go back to help that guy. So really, what can I do? I guess I'll just end my turn there. I don't want to draw cards and potentially draw my treachery. So, end my turn. Unexpected courage. And 2 resources. Top of the mythos. 1, 1. Acolyte. An empty location. Does this count as an empty location? Do any of these count as empty locations? Let me check real quick. So this counts as an empty location because that is not an enemy. It even specifically says ally bystander. Plus, it doesn't share the same convention of an enemy card like this. So I guess that's an empty location. And he gets a doom token, which will not cause this to advance. Although it's going to advance next turn anyway, so I guess I got the best of that. So I'm going to move to the engine car. The engine car is connected to the location to the left of it. You cannot enter the engine car unless all the clues have been examined, etc. Engine car is connected to the location to the left of it. After you reveal the engine car, drop the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Wow. Just outright? No. There's another one in there, and that, and this. What? Hold on. What? Hold up. Draw the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. That's miserable. That's absurd. Spawn to the location to your right, or your location if there's no location to your right. Yeah. But then he enters play exhausted. Okay. We can deal with this. And then we got these 2. Choose one of the following card types. Asset, skill, or event. Each player must discard each card in their hand of the chosen card type. Do I have... I would choose asset for this one, because I only have 1 and I don't need it. If it's not the first copy, whatever. So I discard my assets. And then this, test. Willpower 3, take 3 damage. And if you cannot, or take 2 damage. 3, 4, 5, 6. I could survive. But should I just negate this outright? You know what? Yeah, I will negate this outright. Because if I take too much damage, that'll be a bad thing. So, Ward of Protection says, fast. Play when you draw a non-weakness treachery card. That says treachery. It's not a weakness. Cancel that card's revelation effect. And then take 1 horror. Which I guess is okay, maybe. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it doesn't matter. If I get hit once, I'll either die of stamina or die of sanity. And you know what? I could kill this guy. I could kill this guy. But that cost me 1 action to move. Alright, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. If an investigator enters the engine car, immediately advance. The investigators enter the engine car. The investigator entering the engine car reads the following out loud. Okay. A tender car filled with coal blocks your way to the engine cab. Swallowing your fear, you climb out of the nearby window and clamber onto the roof of the train, making your way across the tender car. The steady backward motion of the train makes it difficult for you to keep your footing. As you get close, a winged creature swoops down from above, its body composed of piping hot steam. Is that what this thing is? No. Whoops. You must decide. Choose one. Test Agility 3 to attempt to dodge the creature, or test Might 3 to attempt to endure the creature's extreme heat. Whew. You know what? Doesn't matter which one I test, because I'm kind of average all around, and I got hard knocks. So, if I got 3, that's got 3, I'm going to spend 4 resources. 1, 2, 3, 4. Using hard knocks to try and do this. So the only thing that could cause me to fail is the instant failure token. Let's hope I did not jinx that. +1. Didn't even jinx that. So I guess that's it for that. Get the engine running. You managed to make it into the engine cab, but now you have to get the engine started up again, so you can outrun the pulling force of the gate. Really? I could leave right now, because there's 1 to move in, 2 to investigate with unexpected courage, putting me at 5 versus 1. -4. 1 versus 1. Thank you. Investigate 1 more time. 5 versus 4. -1. Thank you. Even if I didn't do that, I could have sneak attacked this guy, done 2 damage, shot him a bunch, used hard knocks, killed him, and even gotten an extra victory point. But I didn't want to risk the encounter. So let's see what our prize is. The engine roars to life and kicks into motion. You shovel coal into the engine's firebox and are relieved to see that the train is moving forward along the tracks once again. Resolution 1. Before resolving any other resolution, if at least 1 investigator was defeated, the investigators read investigator defeat first. Okay, that did not apply. You breathe a sigh of relief as the gate behind the train collapses harmlessly upon itself. The few passengers who survived the ordeal seem unable to comprehend what just happened. One passenger mentions a pipe bursting in the rear car, and that quickly becomes the explanation for the innocent and the ignorant. Those who either cannot or choose not to delve further into the mystery. You, on the other hand, know better, although in hindsight, you wish you didn't. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. And that's it. So that's 2, 3 cards for me. Interesting. 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 That was kind of fun. Kind of tough. Subverting my expectations of what to expect in those passenger cars, but I enjoyed it. It's been a while since I played this game, and so I'm excited to get back into it. I even started another campaign with some family members of mine, and we're going through the Dunwich Legacy all over again. And I have a different character for that, but that's neither here nor there. So the next adventure will be Blood on the Altar. I still have 2 physical traumas on me. That will remain, but the mental penalty that I took this game is now gone. I wonder what I can get with 3 experience. Looking at the cards in my collection, the answer is not much. But I could always swap out level 0 cards thanks to my adaptable. So we'll see. Wait a minute. In cleaning up here, I realized I still had Searching for Izzy out there, and that required 2 actions and it's not free. So you know what? I didn't have 2 actions left over. Snap. Searching for Izzy, you got me. I have a mental trauma. There we go. There's your mental trauma for you. Because it required 2 actions and a successful investigation, which I could not do. Because Leo, unfortunately, passed away in my care. So yeah, that's what I got. 2 physical traumas and 1 mental trauma. Alright, and I've also decided what I'm going to spend at least 1 experience on. I had the burglar in my deck, she's getting out, and I'm instead upgrading that for a cat burglar, and that goes in. So I have 2 remaining experience, and so that's the end of the Essex County Express. I hope you look forward to Blood on the Altar. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Let's keep on rolling.